Hello, it's Rebecca here from Precious Pages Papercraft, and today's layout is for Mixed Media Frenzy. And this week we are scrap lifting a Missy Whidden layout. So this is the layout here. It's one of my favourites by Missy Whidden, so I was quite scared when I saw that that's what we were doing this week. So also quite excited because I have literally everything she's used on this layout, apart from the mixed media supplies, but all the Vicky Boutin stuff I actually own and still have left. So I've decided to copy this as closely as I can, because let's face it, you can't really improve on a Missy Whidden, so there is no point in me trying to make this my own. So mine will be as close a copy as I can get. And as you can see, I'm using a grid cut file to get the square effect on my background. I had major issues with my silhouette. It was so fine, it just did not want to come off the craft mat. So I managed to rescue half of it, which was all I needed, so that will do, but it does look a bit of a state. And I'm adding my mixed media here, so I'm using a mixture of Nuvo, is it Mica Mist or Mica Mist? I'm not sure how you say that. I've got 3 of those. So the pink one is called Turkish Rose. Then the yellow I've used is a Lindy's Starburst spray in Blingy Blonde, that one's called. The green is another Lindy's Starburst in Drop Dead Gorgeous Green. Then I've used a blue Nuvo Mist spray, and that's called Nebula Blue. And the purple is another Nuvo spray, and that's called Violet Luster. And then I've come back in with the pink again at the end. And I did one sort of layer and took my grid off and decided I wanted it a bit bolder, so I had to stick my grid back down, trying to line it up perfectly, and I just gave it a second coat of spray, and I was drying it off with my paper towel in between. I didn't want my colour to be too strikingly bold, but at the same time I wanted it bold enough to show. And all these sprays are really shimmery as well, they've all got shimmer in them, so in real life it's actually really pretty. Off camera there, I've just added a row of black stitching to the top and bottom of my mixed media section, same as Missy Whidden has done. Excuse my paper trimmer there, my little boy decided to break it. My new one arrived yesterday, so I don't have to keep putting my blade back in now. So yeah, I've trimmed this section down with my mixed media, added the machine stitching, and I've just distressed the top and bottom edges. I've got 2 photos there. I'm still deciding at this point which one I'd like to use. And I've got this patterned paper left from the, it's Vicky Boutin's Colour Kaleidoscope collection, and it's my favourite paper, and I've been hoarding it, so I've finally cut into it. And I've just cut a strip there to go across the top of my mixed media grid section. But now I'm going to work on the mixed media on the background. So I have applied clear gesso to both the cardstock, so the one I've used to spray my grid on and the one I'm working on now, my background, they have both had a layer of clear gesso on them. I applied that before I started filming just because it takes a while to dry, and I don't like using my heat gun to dry gesso because it always warps my page. So did that off camera and then waited for it to dry. And now I'm adding my mixed media to my background. I'm using exactly the same sprays as I did for the top section. I'm just spraying it directly onto the background, adding some water and kind of tilting the page to get the ink moving, and using a paintbrush to help spread it out. Missy Whidden makes this look really, really easy, and I love the effect she always gets, but I can never seem to get the same effect. I very rarely use gesso because I just never seem to get it to work like Missy does. So yeah, it's very, very rare that I use gesso on my backgrounds, but I thought I would on this occasion, when in Rome and all of that. So you're scrap lifting Missy Whidden, so I thought I'd go with the gesso, but I'm not a massive fan. The pink and purple weren't coming out as bold as I'd like on that background, so I've bought in some Lindy's Starburst sprays in pink, purple, and I think I used blue as well, just to try and get those colours a bit bolder. Mine looks nothing like Missy Whidden's, but I'm getting to the stage where I'm happy with it, So I've dried it off a bit with a paper towel, and now I'm going to add some splatters with a paintbrush. And whilst I'm just finishing that off, I will just say, as always with Friday's Mixed Media Frenzy Hops, there are the usual group of us taking part, so please do check out the description box below, because I'll leave the links to all the other ladies' channels, and we're all either kind of scraplifting or taking inspiration from the same layout, so it'd be really great for you to see everybody's interpretations. So like I said, I'll pop those links in my description box, so please do have a check out of the other ladies' channels as well. So now I'm happy with my mixed media, or as happy as I'm going to be. I'm getting things prepared to stick down. So I've added that patterned paper to the top, and then this other paper, Say Cheese, I've been hoarding that as well. I have a 12 by 12 sheet of it that I had no intentions of using on this layout, but I picked up a patterned paper to tear a section off the bottom, thinking I'd picked up the same sheet as the top, and I hadn't. So I've ended up tearing into both of the papers I've been hoarding. So didn't mean to, but you know what, it's got me using them now. So now I've torn into them, I'm sure they will get used. But I did do it and go, oh no, didn't mean to do that. So I've got the Say Cheese patterned paper at the bottom of my my grid strip there. And now, as same as Missy Whidden's layout, I've got the heart patterned paper and the butterfly patterned paper still left from Colour Kaleidoscope. So I've taken some time to fussy cut some hearts and butterflies. And now I'm just getting this section of my kind of grid mixed media stuck down. So I've gone with double-sided tape across the middle sections, and then just at the edges of those torn sections I'm using foam pads just to bring a bit of dimension to the page. And already you can see it's starting to warp. I've also got this washi tape. I have no idea where it's from, who it's by, but it's been in my stash for a while. It's white with kind of random sized black hearts all over it, and I thought it worked really well. So I'm just tearing some sections of that off so that I can tuck that in under those black strips. Now Missy Whidden hasn't put black strips on her layout, but I felt like because my photo is going to be black and white and my title is going to be black, I felt like I needed to bring a bit more black into the top section of the layout, which is why I've gone with those black patterned paper strips. And that's my photo. It's myself and my little boy going for a walk in the woods. I had to reprint it because I managed to spray Starburst spray all over our faces whilst I was doing my mixed media. And I took the opportunity to cut it a little bit smaller than 3x4. So the original one I had was 3x4, but it looked too big for my page, so this one is ever so slightly smaller. And I've mounted it onto white cardstock, and then I've added a couple of layers of patterned paper behind it using the two papers I've used there on my strips, and then I've also added a layer of tissue paper behind that. I've got my butterflies kind of lined up in position where I think they're going to go, and now I've just pulled out everything else I've got from the Colour Kaleidoscope collection, that's a mouthful, that I've got left, and I'm just going through it to see what I'd like to add. So I've got these word stickers here. Now on Missy Whidden's layout, she's got something very similar she's used from the collection. I've got these stickers that say everyday ordinary life, and I've used those because I'm in the UK, we are still in lockdown. Give it a couple of weeks and we would have pretty much spent a whole year in lockdown, with a few weeks here and there grace in between. But this photo is of myself and my little boy going for a walk, which has pretty much become our everyday ordinary life because it's all we've been allowed to do. So I thought that was really fitting to document those photos. So I've stuck those onto some white cardstock just to make them a bit more rigid, and I've backed that with foam, and that just brings a bit more dimension to those. And then I have these hearts that I've fussy cut. I noticed on the original Missy has done a really tight zigzag stitch all the way down the centre of her hearts, and she's done it kind of tone on tone, matching the colour of the heart. I don't have the patience for that, nor does my sewing machine. It always goes wrong when I do zigzag stitch, so I didn't bother. I just thought there's no way I've got the patience or my sewing machine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick them down, and off camera I'm going to stitch a line of black thread through the centre of each of them, so that the middle section is stuck down but it leaves the edges kind of loose, so I can add a bit of dimension. Oh, I found a little spider on my arm there, I had to just get rid of him. Thankfully it was only a little one. So I'm using the same title as Missy, this photo, and those are from the puffy sticker sheet that came with the collection. You can just see it on the bottom left corner of the screen there. And now I'm trying to add some thread clusters in. I'm really bad at thread clusters. With my silver and gold metallic threads, they work really well because it's quite a wiry thread, so it keeps its shape perfectly. But all the other threads I've got in my stash, they just don't cluster nicely at all. So it took me a long time to get these sorted. I think I had to cut part of the video out because it was just me repeatedly trying to do thread clusters. So I've added one to the left on the pink section. I've used pink thread. Then I've added a bit of black thread under my photo. And I'm going to come in again and add some purple thread just where my purple heart is currently sat. I'm going to add some purple thread under there, which is a very Missy thing to do. And I've got this kind of scalloped sticker from the sticker book that I've placed. I think Missy's done the same thing on her layer actually, which is why I did it. I ripped mine trying to get it off the sheet a while back, so I've had to do some surgery to kind of make it to one piece again. And now I'm just working my way around the layout, getting everything stuck down. So I'm using glossy accents in the centre of all the butterflies so that the body of the butterfly is stuck down, but the wings are free to kind of be lifted up. And the same for the hearts. And the hearts, as I said, I'm going to stitch through, but the butterflies I'm just leaving as they are. I'm adding a little bit of glossy accents behind my title there because I find they do tend to ping off those puffy stickers. They're quite rigid, so they do ping off quite a lot. And this is me just trying to add a purple thread cluster. I think that was probably the most successful one out of the three actually. Still doesn't look as good as Missy's, but I think I'm going to leave thread clusters alone in future. They're just not for me. Then at the top of my photo there, I've just added half of a yellow flower sticker that I had left over. And again, just working my way through the collection, seeing what I've got left that I can add. I've put a green little flower sticker above my photo there in the green section. And then I've got these tiny word stickers left over that Missy has also used. So I've added 3 to my layout. One that says today, one says I love it, and the other one says my heart. And I've just scattered those in kind of a triangle shape across my layout. Fiddle with a couple of other things there just to see if they work, but I didn't really like them, so I've taken those back off. Then I have these circular puffy stickers left. I think I add 2. Yeah, so I've got one on the left there that says happy memory, and I add one on the right that says my love. And I'm going to add a few hearts from the sticker sheet. I absolutely love these sticker sheets. This is my second one I've had from this collection. It's probably my favourite thing from the entire Colour Kaleidoscope collection. So it's nice to finally use them because I have been holding on to them. They're just so pretty to look at and colourful. So there we go, off camera I have stitched through the centre of each of my hearts, and I'm just bending those up a bit to add some dimension. You can kind of see here how my page is warped top and bottom. It's really curved. I've had to leave it underneath an album of layouts for 3 days before I could photograph it because it was so warped. And I always find that with gesso, which is why I tend not to use it. But it's flattened out eventually. And I'm coming in here with some black splatters. This is a Distress ink re-inker, and I've just watered that down a bit and added my splatters, and that is me finished. So thank you very much for joining me. Hopefully I've not butchered Missy's layout too much. I'm quite happy with how it turned out in the end. Like I said, please do check out the other ladies' links and have a view of their videos. The links will be in the description box below. But thanks for joining. Please remember to hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you next time.